So today we'll be organizing the chair inauguration program. A very brief from my side on this event. Professor Amrutur Anilkumar has been a friend of IIT Gandhinagar for the last several years. He is an aerospace engineer on the faculty at Vanderbilt University. He has been a NASA investigator of microgravity fluid flow phenomena on space shuttle flights and on the International Space Station. He has established the distinguished Ruddam Narasimha lecture series at IIT Gandhinagar in 2012, and it has started from then. Now he has sponsored a distinguished visiting chair at the Institute to promote institutional excellence in honor of his parents, Smt Amba and Sri B.S. Sastry. With this, I would like to invite the speakers for today. So if you can please come on stage. Professor Amit Prashant. Now I welcome Professor Achal Mehra to share his thoughts with us. He has been associated with us as a faculty at IIT Gandhinagar since 2013. Professor Achal Mehra, please, if you can share his thoughts.
Thanks, Uttama. I guess ceremonies such as the one today typically facilitate the generosity of alumni for their gratitude and affinity toward their alma mater. In the decades to come, IIT Gandhinagar too will be conducting such events, and indeed several of our alumni have already stepped forward with extraordinarily generous gifts, establishing student scholarships, for instance. But as a relatively young institution with few alumni, who are all in fairly early stages of their careers, we have been extraordinarily fortunate to have the support of well-wishers with little or no formal association with the institute, such as Professor Anilkumar, who have stepped forward to support us with their generosity. This support has fueled some of IIT Gandhinagar's most exceptional innovations during the past decade. Nearly 40% of IIT Gandhinagar undergraduate students and 75% of our PhD students receive overseas study or internship opportunities, many of which have been made possible by the time, talent, and treasure of external donors and supporters. It has become one of the defining characteristics of an IIT Gandhinagar education today and made it one of the country's most globalized campuses in the country. 80% of our faculty has an overseas degree or postdoc experience, and our ability to recruit such world-class faculty has been made possible in considerable part thanks to chairs and fellowships endowed by friends such as Professor Anilkumar. Many others also serve as our global network to help identify, connect, and sometimes even host us during our global search. 15% of our faculty are visiting faculty from India and abroad, and again, many of these opportunities have been made possible by such support. Several other innovative programs at IIT Gandhinagar, such as the 6-week-long Explorers Fellowship, in which students discover India's cultural roots by traveling to 6 states on a shoestring budget, are fueled by donor support. Professor Anilkumar is one of our earliest, our pioneer donors, if you will, to take a chance on us, having endowed the Ruddam Narasimha Distinguished Lecture Series in 2012 within years of the Institute's founding. Over the past 8 years, the series has brought a diverse range of scholars from across the world to IIT Gandhinagar to speak on cutting-edge subjects, contribute to the diversity and interdisciplinarity that is another hallmark of IIT Gandhinagar. Both IITGN's innovative approach and Professor Anilkumar in supporting this lecture series are unconventional. But yesterday's heresies also run the risk of becoming tomorrow's orthodoxies. It is fitting, therefore, that the 8th lecture being delivered later today in this auditorium by Professor Jayant Harista, questions some of the lofty assumptions of what is widely embraced as one of the most disruptive innovations in recent years on artificial intelligence. Thank you, Professor Anilkumar, for supporting the Narasimha Distinguished Lecture Series over the years and for elevating your support to establish the Smt Amba and Shri V.S. Sastry Visiting Chair at IIT Gandhinagar. Thank you.
Now I welcome Professor Nitin George to share his thoughts on the chair position. He is an Associate Dean Faculty Affairs at IIT Gandhinagar and holds the position of Teoko Chair here.
Yeah, thank you, Uttama. Yeah, good evening and welcome to this inaugural session. I think this will be the first such session for many of the students who are sitting here. So formally welcome all of you to IIT Gandhinagar. So we have been fortunate to have had distinguished visitors who have been staying with us for short term and long term over a period of last 10 years. So in 2012, the Board of Governors approved a program called Scholar in Residence program, where we could invite distinguished people for a shorter period of 1 month up to a period of 1 year. And we typically have around 10 to 15 such visitors visiting IIT Gandhinagar and staying with us for at least 1 month over a period of, in the last 4 years, typically the average is like 10 to 15 people. So they spend their time with IIT Gandhinagar, preparing manuscript, starting new collaborations, writing proposals, and this has added significant value to us. And with the new chair position which is getting created, Srimati Amba and Sri V.S. Sastry Distinguished Visiting Chair position, we will be able to further strengthen this initiative and bring in distinguished visitors from India and abroad and add significant value to us. So we would like to thank Professor Anilkumar for taking this initiative and starting this chair position at IIT Gandhinagar. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Now I welcome Professor Anilkumar to share his thoughts with us regarding this chair position.
So I guess everybody has a reason to do something, and Dr. Mehra and Dr. Nitin and Dr. Prashant and Dr. Uttama, they've all addressed it in their own way, but I guess it's important for me to say what I'm up to. And so I want to start it somewhere, and hopefully when I finish the next 10 minutes, I will have probably taken you in the right direction. There are two institutions that have had a very tremendous impact on me. I'm going to start with the first institution and then get to the next institution, which you are aware of. So I went to this high school in Bangalore called the National High School. It was started prior to the freedom movement, just around that time in 1917, and Dr. Annie Besant was the founder of this school. The entire Indian National Congress leadership made a pilgrimage to this school that the school is very proud of, and they very proudly show the pictures of the visit to the Mahatma somewhere in the late 1920s. So it is, for some reason, called a Gandhian school. It's a faith-based school, and the motto of that school in Sanskrit is basically Shraddha hi Paramagatihi. That is, faith alone is the ultimate savior. So it's a very strong school to which I'm very attached. Since graduation from 1975, I visited that school every year and sponsored something or the other once I became an earning member of the community. The teachers are very welcoming, and the process is very interesting. The edifice has not been changed. The bricks are still the same, and they speak the same way when I was a student there. So I'm finding that kind of a vibration here at IIT Gandhinagar. So if there is a reason for this, I would say there is continuity for it. Maybe I don't want to put myself in the books of all those important people, but I want to say there is something there that has driven me here. Sanskrit was the first language, and the big scope of our discussions in the school was as faith was, is there light at the end of the tunnel? I took the freedom to put a large picture here, though this is not a tunnel. The process of thinking that there should be light at the end of the tunnel for everyone, and maybe science and technology and understanding of society would play a role, was very important and emphasized and well taken. I tried to translate that into Sanskrit, but the Sanskrit translator initially just played on me and said, is there light at the end of the tunnel in Sanskrit? Then after 40 years of hiatus from Sanskrit, I posed myself this question. I got to be better than that. And I'm sure there are purists here will say I might be wrong, but I said, Tata Shobha Suraka Samapti Asti. It's just asking the question. So let's see whether we have an answer. At some point or the other, we are all blind people touching an elephant. The sooner we realize that we should come out of that blindness and look at the elephant, the better. The elephant can be many things for many people. Again, it could be the organized West in one picture, or it could be the disorganized setup of ours in another picture, or it could be the systems problems that we all run into and say that it's a systems problem and we need to tackle it. But either way, I think the answer is Anda Purusha tu Kuchara. Basically, we need to come out of our blindness. Well, around the time I was playing with blindness, I got two types of emails on my junk folder. One was this repeated emails from the Nigerian groups saying that your $1,000 will become $1 million in 2 years. And then another email from Sudhir Jain saying that we look forward to receiving your thoughts and invite you to be part of our mission to make IITGN an institute that the country can be proud of. I don't know how this master list was created, whether it was specific to certain people that he thought he knew, or it was to the Indian faculty in engineering schools in US. It took 6 or 7 attempts to wake me up. Maybe a lot of people did not wake up, but that's fine. But one day in 2012, I woke up and said, maybe some of the resources I have could be put to use. The question is always, do you have a good idea to go with it? Because if you don't have a good idea and the passion to take the idea forward, then that money really makes no difference. And I think it's better to go back to Shraddhahi, Paramagatihi, and things like that, right? So I picked up the phone and called Sudhir. Now the question is, who is this Sudhir? Well, I had seen a Sudhir for about 6 months as a hyperactive student at Caltech, who was not only being, basically it's almost like he had this magic of kicking himself upstairs quickly, and he wanted to go back to India and quickly. So I recalled that and I called him and said, hey, I have this idea. I want to set up this lecture series for my mentor, Professor Narasimha. You may recall he was at Caltech as a visiting professor. Are you okay with it? Are you interested? Are you happy about it? Do you want it? He said he was super excited, but he told me one thing. All these big scientists, they're not accessible. So I warn you that the idea is good, but you won't be able to do it. Well, I said, well, I meet him every year and I talk to him on the phone every couple of months. So that shouldn't be a problem as long as you are excited and give me the opportunity to kind of push through this agenda to a success. He said, all doors are open, and that's what we are all about. And that was the great thing. We also reminisced about a few things that some of you may not know, but since Sudhir is not here, I'm going to play this out. He used to drive this Ford, it's a Ford Pinto, a junk of a car, but he was the only one who had a car. In Sanskrit, it came as Tugwan. I don't know what Ford is, but it came as Tugwan as a translator. He used to play these Sangam songs all the time. And that's where I got addicted to those Sangam songs, and I started humming them too. And I kind of reminded him about it. And then we talked about this situation we used to have. We used to get visitors from India, and in that era, it was always about taking them to the East-West store, and it was always about they asking the question, isko kitna duty lagega? Always about what is the duty you have to pay for buying that thing. I'm glad None of us need to worry about carting those 220, 120, 420, those kind of appliances, and we can get them whenever we want. I'm glad we have made progress because we can think of other things. And we had a big laugh, and we talked about, he reminded me that the India of our student days is very different from the India of today. And he said he got a good deal. He definitely got a good deal. He has worked hard and built this institution, and the best respect one can have for him is to make this institution bloom even more. And I talked to the faculty, and they're very gung-ho about it. They want to take it forward, and we feel very good about it. Now, you might say, well, is this a convenience or is this reality? Well, this is not photoshopped. This is our graduation in 1983 from Caltech. This is Professor Narasimhan. He's a professor at ISC Bangalore. This is Sudhir, on a diet probably. So I think, so it is well placed. So though I knew him only for a couple of months, I had this picture that I could bring things back. I feel good about it. There's a lot of room for greatness at IITGN. We all wish greatness for it. I will present a few slides as to what my wishes are. There's a great introduction to the past here that is not there in any part of India. Lothal, which is just 100 kilometers away, has the entire civilization before everything. This is Rambai, who is the caretaker of the place, telling that this was before everything. I don't want to go there and say before what, before this, before everything. So that's great. So whatever we have done after is ours. If there is a mess in traffic, it is ours. If there are all these other things that are going on, it's ours. But this was before everything. And he pointed out one thing. He said there were no chiefs, there were no kings or anything. There were only some kind of business leaders and dons and things like that. So maybe the society was well organized then, something to think about. I saw something more on the way. This was on a drive. I took this picture. There were all these ladies and these two kids eagerly looking at us as we were driving by. In Sanskrit, we call it nirmalya, purity. I wake up every day. I have a big poster of this in our house and ask, are these girls doing okay? Are their lives going to be okay? Are we going to move into a world where they can still transition smoothly into a more complex world and not a scenario where people are left behind? Something to think about. There's a whole lot of faith here. Faith is in big abundance, so no problem. And I see this vision, I see this exposure that I got in high school all coming together. So this place has got a lot of things going on. So I see a lot of bright future to this. And I want to plug my work here only to the extent that we need to be a place where we can think of systems level problems, not at a very fine-tuned problems where we can't take this to the final delivery point either as a product or to look at societal issues. I do urge that this chair we are setting up expose us to look at systems level problems. I'm just going to play you a video about a rocket flight where the rocket is in an agnostic environment, where in another Earth kind of environment, but not the Earth, it lands there. It has to go through 8 processes to release 2 aerial vehicles that, without the advantage of GPS and without a magnetic field, are able to communicate and coordinate and collaborate and do a collaborative search mission on a different planet. This is an 8-month program that I put 20 students through, graduate, undergraduate. It's a systems level problem, systems engineering problem, where everything has to go right. The rocket has to land right. It has to reorient itself. The doors have to open. The clutch has to unclutch. The UAVs have to take off one after the other. The first one needs to explore and needs to communicate to the next one, and the next one needs to finish the mission. The cost of this, $12,000. The cost of various space missions, $120 million if it's ISRO, or $1.2 billion if it's NASA. We don't need any of that. We really need simulated problems that make our students to look at systems level problems and not get taken in by costs or anything. We can do that, and I urge our faculty to help us do that. So I'm going to play this video, as a finish point for where I am, and I'm going the wrong way probably. Okay, lost the sync here. Lost the sync, okay. Can somebody come here quickly? No. Okay, all right. So let me play this video. It will just lower the volume, please. Stop it. Okay. Well, I wanted to play this for a variety of reasons, including the fact that my dad was an aeronautical engineer, so he would be happy about the fact that we did something more than just naming something and things like that. So I would like to thank Sudhir, Professor Amrutur, and Uttama, who is our student from Vanderbilt University. What better tribute to Vanderbilt than to have a student like this on the faculty here. And thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you.
So, Professor Anilkumar, his family is here. Most welcome to the Institute, and it is always a pleasure to have you with us. I think this association started 8 years back, and it's always as Professor Anilkumar mentioned, that you want to do something, but if you don't put it in the right perspective, it's not going to yield the results that you are looking for. And every journey has its own evolution as well. And that is what I see is happening to this association as well. So every year we will have very, very careful plan for what is going to happen in the lecture, and also how we are going to conduct the day in a way. And also it has evolved in 7-8 years to leading to a chair, which is next level of vision towards achieving that larger goal that we have been looking for. And I must congratulate Professor Anilkumar and his family to help us do this. Thank you so much. So while we are really sincerely grateful to this association, we are also looking forward to fulfilling the responsibility that we carry with you, which is the policy that we had for the institute to be outward looking, interact with people outside the institute as much as possible, learn from them, bring them here, talk to them, work with them, build collaborations, build associations, and this kind of system that we are creating will become engine for that. It's an engine for achieving the policy or the vision that we were trying to establish. We have been trying to establish. So it's an opportunity for us, and we have a responsibility to put that to the same level as expected in the vision with Professor Anilkumar and his family to do this in the right way, and we shall make every effort to make this happen to the same extent. All this will become useful only if there is an ownership from faculty side, from the student side. We all feel the need for this outwardly looking approach, learning from various sources, and bringing the best talented people on campus and leveraging their presence. Otherwise, it's just coming and going and nothing coming out of it. So, in that case, it's a big responsibility to all the stakeholders to make sure that we gain maximum out of it, and I wish you all the best for achieving that target. So thank you, Anilkumar sir and his family again for being here with us for another day of leading to the excellence that we are looking for. Thank you.
I would request Professor Amit Prashant to felicitate the guests. Professor Anilkumar. And also I invite Mrs. Anilkumar, please if you can come on stage. I know your contributions are huge in this event.